When I was young, there was this book series that was written by Alexander Khalifman, and it was called Openings for White according to Vishy Anand. And he had this numerous books in which all of them covered one e4, and whatever black would do, these responses were dependent on Vishy Anand's repertoire. And I really liked that concept back then. And recently, I thought that let me do this on my YouTube channel where I could make a repertoire for white based on a player that I like, whose games or opening choices that I enjoy. And I thought there's no one better to base the opening preparation than Vidit if you are looking for something solid, at the same time active, also many times correct openings, because he does quite a lot of heavy work in the opening phase of the game. And so based on that, I did a live stream, and from that I have collected, you can check out the live stream, it's on ChessBase India, or you will find also the link at in the description and the end of the video. And I thought let me just summarize it in this video. So every time I'll do a live stream, there will also be a summary video, and I will also put a link to the PGN below for you to download. So let's get going. Vidit likes to open his games with 1d4. So that is what we are going to focus on, 1d4 from white. The main move that most of his opponents play is knight f6. There is also d5 in this position. So we'll look at that. And there are also sidelines. So let's look at knight f6. Vidit goes c4. Now, there is g6 as one of the main moves. There is also e6. Now, after e6, here was a very important decision to make, whether we should go for g3 systems, knight f3 systems, or knight c3. I chose for the more direct one because whenever Vidit is kind of in a must-win situation, he chooses this move. This allows the Nimzo Indian. You can also play the Queen's Gambit declined, which we'll cover through the other move order. But bishop b4. And now there were two things that I want to cover here. One is Queen c2, which would be our main weapon, the classical variation against the Nimzo. The other one is f3, which Vidit uses a lot when he wants to win the games. And this he has played against Kramnik, and he's played against Caruana, and so many good players he's played this against. Or maybe not Caruana, but Aronian. So we will look at this two main lines against the Nimzo Indian. Now, going back, after knight c3, this is the thing. If someone goes g6 here, then you play knight c3. Now, Vidit also likes to play g3, but this he likes to do only if he knows his opponent is a big King's Indian expert. So then he can go for his fianchetto system and reach the position he's looking for. But knight c3, now two moves, Grunfeld with d5 or King's Indian with bishop g7. If Grunfeld, once again, I want to give you one main line and one side line. The main line is takes e4, knight c3, bc3, bishop g7, bishop e3, c5, knight f3, queen a5 and queen d2. This is one of the positions, and Vidit has a very good score here. So we will discuss this main line position. Apart from this, the other line which I was suggesting was to play knight f3, bishop g7, queen b3, the Russian system. And I think we can have a look at this a little bit in depth based on Vidit's games. So this would be our side weapon against the Grunfeld. If someone goes for the King's Indian, then you go for g3. Here is a chance for him to go d5 and go into Grunfeld. We will have to look at this fianchetto system against the Grunfeld. But one of the nice things against this move order is that black cannot go for the c6 d5 solid setup in the Grunfeld, because white can go e4 at that point. So castles, bishop g2, d6, knight f3, and here black has three main moves. One is knight to c6 here, knight bd7 and c6. We will be covering these lines against the King's Indian in the King's Indian against Vidit. So that kind of puts an end to d4, knight f6. Yeah, if someone goes c5 here, Vidit goes d5. And now if b5 Benko, then takes a6. I was thinking, should we go into the mainline stuff with b takes a6? But I saw that Vidit had played e3 once. And I want to explore this line a bit more in detail. So we'll look at e3 against the Benko. There is also e6, the Benoni, d6, e4, g6, h3. I mean, there were other ways also to play. He has gone f4 in one of the games. But I looked at h3, bishop g7, and in one game, I'm not sure how good this is, but I want to explore it. Is bishop e3. He played this recently. And then knight f3, maybe knight d2. We'll look at this in more detail against the Benoni system. But if it's not good, we can always turn to another line that Vidit plays. And against the Budapest Gambit, Vidit has gone for this bishop f4 line. So we will study that. Going to d4, d5, c4, e6. Firstly, let's look at Queen's Gambit accepted. Vidit likes to start with knight f3, knight f6, e3, e6, bishop c4, c5, and castles. This is the position that he likes to play, and we will be covering this for the Queen's Gambit accepted positions. Apart from that, if c6, which is the Slav, there is the main line with knight f3 that we will cover, but we will also look at a side weapon, which is the exchange Slav that Vidit likes to play. e3, knight f6, knight c3, and he has played this with many players. c6, knight f3, knight f6. Here again, the main move we'll look at is knight c3, but a side weapon cd, cd, knight c3, knight c6, bishop f4 is what I was thinking of. And this he has played against many opponents, even Firuza, Durar Bailey in the World Cup, and so on. I mean, after knight f3, knight f6, cd5, this is what he also likes to play. But knight c3, now there is dc4, a4, bishop f5, knight e5, knight bd7, knight takes c4. This is one way. The other way is e6, e3, c5. Again, Queen's Gambit accepted lines. And the last one is the semi-Slav with e6, where Vidit goes e3, knight bd7, and queen c2. Very important move he likes to play here. Bishop d6, bishop d3, and this is what is a position which we would study. So that kind of covers d4, d5, and QGA and Slav. But there is Queen's Gambit declined. I thought one way to go here is with g3, the Catalan, which he is very good at. We can study that. There's also knight c3, which allows all sorts of stuff with Ragozin, Queen's Gambit declined, or even semi-Tarash. But we can also start with knight c3, knight f6, cd, ed, bg5, and go for this mainline stuff. So this is where I think we can study this, but also I was thinking about, like, Vidit really likes to play the Catalan often, and we should definitely have a look at it. You know, it would be very useful if we study the Catalan. So that would be against Queen's Gambit declined. Against some minor lines like d4, f5, Vidit likes to play g3, so we will study that. Against d4, d6, with the idea of that if you go c4, black can play e5. Vidit likes to play knight f3. And d4, e6, I think most likely will transpose after c4. So these are the few opening lines that we will be studying with this, and every opening will have a live stream, then such a video, which is kind of the summary video that will be posted. I hope you like it. I will be putting in the PGN link in the description. Do like this video, and I hope you will learn along with Vidit and improve your opening theory. This is Sagar Shah signing off. Bye bye.